Cigar makes his bid to catch a legend Citation and his historic record of 16 consecutive victories. Cigar will have to do it from the 10th and last post position against a star-studded field which includes Florida Derby winner and Kentucky Derby favorite Unbridled Song, who's running right next to Cigar in the 9th position. It's the Arlington Citation Challenge here at the historic Arlington International Racecourse. We're about 10 minutes from post time, and our Howard Setberry, Bill Raftery, and Johnny Morris are all at the track. Coming up, everybody, a chance to witness history.
It was the late 1940s. The legendary Citation was reeling off 16 straight wins. There have been many great ones since, but none of them, not Secretariat, not Seattle Slew. No horse has come close to that record until this guy. This is Cigar, thoroughbred horse racing's newest superstar, and believe me, he's on a real roll. And there's a live shot of Cigar on the track right now. We are about 12 minutes away from post time this afternoon from Arlington International Racecourse. It's a beautiful day for racing. The track is lightning fast for the Arlington Citation Challenge. It is an invitational race, 3-year-olds and upward, the distance a mile and an eighth, and they put a pretty good pot together to get this great horse in here. The purse $750,000 plus a $300,000 bonus for the winner of the race. And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Howard Sudbury, and I found a guy here that definitely knows his horses from his hoops. Bill Raftery with me this afternoon.
Well, in the horse racing business, they don't talk back, and there isn't any alumni to worry about.
That's right. They are much more cooperative. This is a great day. Cigar just came on the track, was given a tremendous ovation, but this is not going to be that easy of a race for him. This is a good field.
Quality race here, and when you think of it, the marquee names in the past few years, the ability of Seattle Slew as a 3-year-older, the Secretariats to win at that 3-year-old age. Now you've got Cigar at 5- and 6-year-old winning, and of course to knock the ashes off maybe some 3-year-olds. A little irony in this as you think of Unbridled Song. Early in his career in the East, they thought he was the best horse. Struggled a little bit. The Breeders' Cup Juvenile, he was fortunate to win. The pre-race favorite in the Kentucky Derby. But some ulcers, some problems with his hoof. Jim Ryerson, if this horse is fit, has a shot. Honor and Glory, Wayne Lucas has been working him diligently down at Churchill Downs. This is a horse that stopped in the Derby, but recently in the Metropolitan Mile took off, did an excellent job.
But as you said, they are both 3-year-olds. Are they ready to take the step and take on an older horse, a great older horse at this point?
Well, you know,
really
Lucas,
don't know.
Lucas likes to win big races, so we'll find out from him.
All right, let's take a look at the current odds for the race right now. Honor and Glory getting a little bit of play from the rail now at 6-1. Eltish is an interesting horse because he's very lightly raced. He's 10-1, and his best race may yet be coming up.
Well, the best race he's had is at the Ascot on the lawn, and Bobby Frankel, I don't think he moves him just to come up short here.
There are some of the long shots. Dr. Banning, one of the longest ones at 80-1. And we get to the outside. Unbridled Song at 7-2. Cigar, we failed to mention, is in the 10 hole. Not easy to win. They hit the turn at Arlington in a big hurry, Bill.
And in the mile and eighth, nobody's won from that slot. All meet.
Well, the Cigar hasn't run here all meet either, so let's see what happens with that. Cigar, of course, is a 6-year-old. It took him a long time before anybody called him great. Now many call him the greatest. That remains to be seen. We'll see what happens with him today. Raf takes a closer look at Cigar.
He looks like an ordinary horse, and in the early stages of his racing career, he was. But racing fans eventually would come to learn that Cigar was extraordinary. His turf pedigree said he should take to the grass, but after just 1 win and 11 tries, a magical transformation took place with the decision to race on the dirt, and a streak was born.
We were very discouraged, and each turf race became a little worse and a little worse. And before we'd run him, we thought, well, maybe we've got a horse for the Breeders' Cup Mile, which is run on the turf. And after running him 2 or 3 times, it looked like we were going nowhere. So it finally got to be September and the fall of the year, and we thought, well, we're running out of turf races anyway. Let's just go ahead and give him a try on the dirt. And the difference was just amazing.
And Cigar running a monstrous race today to win the Naira Mile.
Meeting all challenges in America and abroad, Cigar has won 15 straight races, bringing new excitement to thoroughbred fans and breathing new life into the sport of kings.
Cigar explodes! Cigar opening up in mid-sprint. Cigar makes his move, and he sweeps to the lead with a dramatic rush. He is on cruise control. Cigar opening up by 5 in mid-stretch.
Cigar is digging deep. He's gonna have to fight harder. I think Dubai's race was a prime example of a horse's heart and courage and will to win. He had missed some training, he had coming off a foot injury, and he still found whatever it takes to win.
I've never seen a horse like him. And I talked to a lot of trainers and people have been around him for years, and they all say the same thing. He's the greatest they've ever seen.
Well, there are those who think Citation was the greatest they've ever seen. He owns the modern-day record of 16 consecutive victories, a streak which included the 1948 Triple Crown. It is his ghost that Cigar chases.
The streak means a lot to racing. What does it mean to you?
I think having done it will mean a lot, and I think at some point, if we get it done, I mean, if we indeed accomplish that, it will really mean something.
It will mean that this 6-year-old phenomenon has won his 16th consecutive race. But more than that, it will mean that Cigar has won a place alongside the greatest names in racing history.
I think, you know, in order for a horse to be great, they've got to show a tremendous amount of courage, consistency, durability, and I think he started to show us that. And I think that now I think we can really say that he is a great horse. We're going to be a long time before we see another Cigar.
And you're looking live at a picture of Cigar on the racetrack, cool, calm, and collected, and ready to go for the Arlington Citation Challenge. Very tough to compare athletes in any sport from different eras, but we're going to take a look at some of the numbers here. 46 years apart, Ralph, and take a look at it.
Well, the asterisk, a walkover, the Pimlico Special. All Eddie O'Carroll had to do is get him started and finish the race, so an easy one for him.
A walkover is a one-horse race. Maybe if some of your basketball teams had walkovers, you'd still be coaching.
Well, a lot of people scheduled us to have a walkover.
All right, his streak began at Citations ended at 5. Cigar is currently 6 years old. When will it end? That's a big question. We don't know if we're going to run him after this or not. And as we look at their career right now, Citation ran 45 times. Cigar, 28. He has won 17 of those, 13 stakes wins. The interesting thing on this graphic, the money. Citation earned a staggering amount of money for those days, over $1 million. What would that be worth today, do you think?
Well, Jordan wouldn't sign for it, but it's about $6.4 million right now.
Right, and Jordan got 25 just yesterday. There is Cigar, and we're going to take a break right now. 6 minutes away from post time for the Arlington Citation Challenge. We're back with more right after this. Light them up, boys. International Racecourse outside Chicago, and a quick look at the current odds. About 4 minutes to post. Honor and Glory now up to 7-1. Eltish at 12-1. Then 3 real outsiders. And the numbers continue big. Wild Sin at 90-1, and Cigar now the 2-5 favorite. Citation was trained by Jimmy Jones. He is now 89 years old, and he is here today in the paddock with Johnny Morris. Johnny?
Thank you, Howard, and I am here with the trainer of Citation, 89-year-old Jimmy Jones. And Jimmy, and you think back, did you ever think anybody would ever challenge this record?
Well, you know, records are made to be broken. And they've constantly broken them, and we always, you can't compare horses of different ages, but records, I suppose, well, they will be broken, and I think in this case probably will end up being broken. This horse is a very nice horse. You certainly can't convict him on anything. He's just good, but that's as far as I'm going to go. I want to see him run more before I say he can run like Citation.
Okay, I have an idea that no matter if Cigar breaks the record, I think that you're still going to feel that Citation is the greatest horse of all time, and nobody would argue with that either, Jimmy. Thank you very much for being at Arlington, okay?
Good deal. Fine.
Okay, now let's go back up to Howard Sudbury.
All right, Johnny, it's great to see Jimmy Jones out here. He certainly trained a Grade 1, and so does Bill Mott, the trainer of Cigar, who is with us right now in the stands as he watches his horse warm up. Bill, I mentioned that your horse looks cool, calm, and collected out on the track. Are you?
Pardon me?
I mentioned that your horse looks cool, calm, and collected out on the track. Are you?
Yeah, so far. It's the rest is up to Cigar and Jerry Bailey right now.
Bill,
they look like they've been warming up fine and doing well.
Bill, where would you like to be on the first turn?
Well, anything but probably in the middle of the racetrack. I think there's probably 3 or 4 speed horses in there that could outfoot us leaving there, and hopefully we'll be able to tuck in behind them, and hopefully we won't be more than 3 or 4 wide anyway on that first turn. Hopefully not that much.
Bill, does any individual horse in the race scare you, or do you just look at it that if Cigar fires and runs his best, he wins?
Well, I think the latter, probably. I mean, I think he's the best horse in the race. I think there's some very talented horses in here. Looks like Unbridled Song is a horse with an extreme amount of talent. We've just got to see him step up to the plate and see if he can beat a horse like Cigar.
All right, Bill, the best of luck to you, and we might see you in the winner's circle in a couple of minutes.
I hope that's the case.
Unbridled Song breaks from the 9 horse right outside. There's a look at him. And, Bill, as he came on the racetrack, you know, he's a fractious horse. He gets pretty wound up. When the crowd gave Cigar a big ovation, this horse was jumping all over the place. That might take something out of him.
Well, Jim Ryerson, he was washy looking how to hold on to him coming out with the handler. It's incredible when you think of a Cigar laid back like a local politician, very relaxed, enjoying the crowd.
And we had a chance to talk to Jim Ryerson, the trainer of Unbridled Song, about starting inside Cigar.
I think maybe for Cigar, it's an advantage that, you know, he knows where we are because, I mean, they both have fairly similar styles, although I think we may move a little earlier than he. But he seems to, you know, like to pressure the pace, and that's kind of how we run. So I'm sure they'll probably be fairly, even though they're breaking alongside of one another, I think you'll find them in fairly similar positions early on.
It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Unbridled Song, who was the favorite at the Kentucky Derby. There's a look at Eltish. He's the one that we're calling our mystery horse. He's very lightly raced. Bobby Frankel brought him into town, and we talked to the trainer of Eltish and asked him why he picked this spot and decided to come in and take care of Cigar.
Oh, definitely, it's a bold move, but you do bold things when they put up a lot of money. And I hope he's in the condition I think he's in, and he performs well.
And the horses now reach the starting gate, and they're beginning to be loaded. Number 1, Honor and Glory, ready to go in, and D. Wayne Lucas told me that he is going to let him fly from that position right to the lead. So as they go in, let's send it up now to Arlington's fine track announcer, Michael Rona, who will give us the call of the Arlington Citation Challenge. Michael?
Thanks so much, gentlemen. They're filling the gate now. Jambalaya Jazz and Dr. Banting coming up. Wild Sin in the gate, Dramatic Gold linking up. Waiting on Dramatic Gold to enter gate 4. He's just a little reluctant, but is now persuaded to move in fully. Cigar patiently awaiting his turn. Unbridled Song, one of the last to load. Tennant's Harbour comes up. And Cigar takes his place in the outside gate. They're set. Racing. And to the roar of the crowd, Polar Expedition breaks first. Honor and Glory firing out of the inside gate. He's going to go through and take the lead now. It's Honor and Glory from Polar Expedition. Dramatic Gold is third. Eltish on the inside. Unbridled Song caught 3 wide. Cigar is 4 wide, 6 lengths off the lead. Wild Sin next, and Jambalaya Jazz saving ground on the rail. They're followed after 2 lengths by Dr. Banting, and 3 off last of all Tennant's Harbour. They work to the back stretch with 3/4 of a mile to go. Honor and Glory leads the way by a half-length. Polar Expedition 3/4 Dramatic Gold 3 wide. Unbridled Song a length away, caught out 4 deep at the 5/8. Eltish in the green silks just behind them on the rail. Cigar is a length behind Unbridled Song. He's trapped out 5 wide midway along the back stretch. After a couple comes Jambalaya Jazz, and then a break of some 3 lengths to Tennant's Harbour, starting a move on the inside. He's 8 from the front. Well back Dr. Banting and Wild Sin. They leave the half-mile mark behind them. Honor and Glory leading. Dramatic Gold goes to second. Polar Expedition is hoisting the white flag. Here's Cigar moving up into 3rd position, just a length from the leader. Then comes Eltish in the pink cap. Unbridled Song couldn't sprint with Cigar. And now Jerry Bailey sets Cigar alight. And they reach the quarter pole in the Arlington Citation Challenge. Cigar and Dramatic Gold making runs together. They run to the front as they turn for home. Honor and Glory dropping out to 3rd. Cigar comes to the 8th pole, taking over by a half length. Dramatic Gold is running a mighty race on the inside, but Cigar seems to have his measure. He's starting to stretch away now. Cigar is an unstoppable dynamo. The crowd rises to a champion. 16 in succession as Cigar assumes the crown of immortality. Second, Jockey, then Tennant's Harbour, followed by Jambalaya Jazz and Dr. Banting. Well back Polar Expedition, Unbridled Song failed to fire, and Wild Sin comes in last of all in the Arlington Citation Challenge. Cigar, number 10, raced by Allen Paulson, enters the record books alongside the legendary Citation. Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen history in the making here this afternoon at Arlington International Racecourse. Cigar, trained by Bill Mott, ridden by Jerry Bailey, winning for the 16th time in a row, clocking 1:48 1/5. It's a photo for second. And
there is trainer Bill Mott on his way to the winner's circle. He has trained a champion. Cigar gets the job done. Mid-stretch, he was given quite a challenge by Dramatic Gold, but then he shook him off and he gets the win. We'll pick it up on the backstretch now. Honor and Glory, as we expected, was on the lead, and on the outside, Jerry Bailey begins to sweep toward the front, and he hadn't even asked Cigar to run at this point, Bill.
I think he's just about ready to start asking him now.
And here he comes for home, still under a hand ride, but as I said, it got a little bit interesting mid-stretch because the 4-horse just on the inside of him dug in. But as I said, Bailey hadn't really hit him at this point.
Hand ride, as you mentioned, you see Honor and Glory falling back, Dramatic Gold, I believe, alongside. We just get up and ride him. Eddie Acaro said on Citation, just put me on there. No strategy, just go get him. I think Jerry Bailey does the same and has the same result.
And there is a 3-length victory right there as Cigar hits the wire and coasts in front. Number 4, Dramatic Gold, did hold on for second, and number 2, Eltish, finished third. There is Cigar as he comes back and begins his celebration from Arlington International. 16 consecutive wins. The time of the race, 1:48 1/5 second, but really that's immaterial. It doesn't matter how much you win by, as long as you win.
And Howard, I thought he was very patient on the outside, too. Didn't tuck him in too much. 4 and 5 ride, wide around the turn, then down the backstretch.
Well, Jerry Bailey is one of the best riders around. He is a very patient rider, and he'll be the first to tell you, when you ride a horse like Cigar, you can be patient. You don't have to make a lot of decisions because the horse makes decisions for you.
Bill Mott had some directions, but I think once it starts, Bailey takes over.
And listen to this tremendous ovation. Jerry Bailey tips his hat to this overflow crowd at Arlington International as he brings Cigar back. The crowd estimated at 30 to 35,000. Let's listen to him. We have seen history. There is Jerry Bailey. We'll be back to talk with Bailey, Mott, and Paulson. Team Cigar. And we're back from Arlington International to talk more about the Arlington Citation Challenge right after this. And we are back at Arlington International right now. And first of all, let's take a look at the photo for second place. And you can see Dramatic Gold held on after fighting Cigar pretty hard down the stretch. Eltish was closing for third. And you know, it's always great to be in the winner's circle after a horse race because that means you're with a lot of happy people. And Team Cigar is here right now. First of all, let's talk to Jerry Bailey, the jockey. Jerry, your emotions when you were coming down the stretch and you knew you had this thing and you had him put away.
I can't put into words how proud I was of Cigar. I didn't do a whole lot, to be honest with you. I'm more or less a passenger, but I give a lot of credit to Bill Mott for getting his horse back off another injury, and credit to Cigar.
And how about that ovation that the crowd gave you? You were tipping your hat. That was quite a scene.
I think for any anxious moment we all might have, to hear that roar of the crowd is worth it all.
Raph?
Bill Mott, you said the world knew your strategy. Were you a little upset at the first turn?
Well, it looked like we were going to be further back and further out maybe than what we'd even hoped. I mean, it turned out probably as bad as we wanted it, but Cigar was a good enough horse to overcome it. I mean, eventually down the backside, he was in good position and, you know, made a good move leaving a half-mile pole, and the rest is history. He did have to gut it out down the lane with Dramatic Gold.
All right, let's watch now as they bank into that first turn now. Jerry, you got parked out a little bit wider than you would have wanted to?
Yeah, I did. Unbridled Song didn't leave there as quick, and I couldn't really outrun him, so I decided to follow him. And as it turned out, there was one more horse between us, and he was 6 wide rather than 4 wide. Everybody spread out. I mean, they knew I was on the outside, and they weren't going to give me anything for free.
You know, I always like to ask jockeys this. Any point in this race where you were worried?
No, I really wasn't. I mean, I wasn't happy in the first turn. I didn't want to lose that much ground. But when we turned up the backside and I knuckled on him a little bit and he started picking him up with pretty much ease, I was all smiles.
So at this point, you know that he's on his game?
Yes, I do. And I'm also judging the competition. I didn't think anybody was going to get away from him on the front end.
So you're watching at this point to see which horses are in front of you, the ones that you think have a shot to beat you?
Well, sure, I know who's in front of me. I just want to see how easy they're going and how much I think they're going to have left.
Did he just drag you to the lead here?
Once he gets his position and gets eyeball to eyeball, he pretty much takes over the controls.
So you don't have to move him. He's a push-button horse, huh?
No, but he did work through the stretch today. He fought off a nice horse, and, you know, conceding that much ground in the first turn and conceding that much weight, I thought it was a spectacular effort.
Honor and Glory at this point, we were pretty sure was done. Did you know that Dramatic Gold had something left?
Well, he did, and he kept forcing me out even wider, and kind of made me and Cigar both mad a little bit. He put him away pretty handy as we straightened out.
Bill, what are you thinking at this point?
Well, I'm thinking that the horse inside of him, Dramatic Gold, he's like Jerry said, he forced him out and made him go a little wider than we would have liked to on the second turn, and you could tell that, you know, we were carrying 130 pounds and we were having to run. I mean, our horse had to battle, but he battled on well and gave it a top effort.
And I see Jerry looking under his right shoulder there to look back, and you knew you had it there.
Well, yeah, I was pretty sure, but you don't want to ask any more than necessary.
Well, we got a happy owner over here, Mr. Paulson. You saw the signs here thanking you and your wife. All of horse racing knows you a debt of gratitude.
Well, it's a real honor to bring them here, and especially with the crowd you have here, how they got with it, and everybody seems to love Cigar.
I think Chicago is checkpoint Paulson.
Well, that'd be okay for me.
All right, Howard.
Bill, let's look ahead with this horse now. I know you want to enjoy the moment. You've tied the record, but what do you think as you look down the road?
Well, you know, there's a number of races we could run in. One on the schedule would be the Pacific Classic at Del Mar. We want to run once or twice at Belmont in the fall, and then, of course, the ultimate goal being the Breeders' Cup.
There are the official results right now. Of course, there was no place or show wagering. Cigar paid $260. The exacta 10-4 paid $21.20, and the trifecta was 10-4-2 paid $140.60.
And Bill, this horse takes like a politician. I mean, he really relaxed, informal. The crowd doesn't bother him. Sort of plays to it, doesn't he?
He really does. I mean, he's a real ham for the camera, and he'll get up and put his nose next to the cameras, and he really seems to enjoy it. And I'm not so sure he doesn't know this crowd is for him today.
And South Dakota, great contribution to the racing world, and you, Bill Mott.
Thank you.
All right, it was fun to watch. Jerry, you've said before you don't get that attached to horses that you ride generally. How about this one?
You know, if a guy couldn't get attached to Cigar, he must be made of stone.
That's exactly right. Well, there are 35,000 other people out here that are very attached to him, too. Now let's go up to Gus Johnson. Thank you, gentlemen.
And thank you very much, guys. Exciting day here in suburban Chicago. Cigar takes his place alongside the greatest horses of all time. He ties Citation's 46-year-old record with his 16th straight win.